Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andrej,
And I'm Benoit.
and thanks for tuning in. This is the third game of the Randolph Draft
Yeah.
here at Randolph. Before I sound a bit conceited, I'm actually again on the left. That's a kind of a problem when you're not playing an organized tournament, is that it doesn't line up. It's not like
Yeah.
everyone's free at the same time, so I filmed myself twice in a row. Sorry, guys. But this is cool. I'm going to be actually running. On the right, we have Scott. I believe Scott has been on the channel before.
Yeah.
And will continue to be on the channel. He's a very fun player, and we get to see what he builds.
Yeah, and if you can watch his show called LARP.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So he makes a show about playing Dungeon and Dragon, I believe. So
Yeah. A couple people from Montreal have a series
Yep.
called LARPs, and it's on YouTube. It's on Geek and Sundry, I believe. You can check out the first season. Really fun stuff.
Yeah.
So this is my runner deck. If you remember my runner deck, it has a lot of good stuff into it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting that you film yourself twice. So now we
Yeah.
can see your deck, how it goes out second time, and
Yeah, I guess
what's different.
you get to see how it deals with variance, because these decks admittedly have a problem with variance considering we don't have tutors.
Yeah.
So card draw is really important.
Yeah.
But the same goes for the corp. And I don't know, this is what I found with the corp draft, is that it's really, your mulligan matters a lot.
Yeah, but you only have 3 Jacks and Howard in the whole cube.
In the
so
whole cube.
only 3 players are gonna have
Yeah.
Jacksons.
And I know I've mulliganed into 3 agendas, and then if you're just not in a position to score, it can get rough.
Yeah.
So the mulligan's actually really big. It looks like I'm going to take the mulligan,
Yeah,
not
both
happy
players,
with what
I
I
think.
have. Actually, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if Scott's going to do it, but we'll see. He's showing me his hand. That doesn't look very good. He has a midway station grid in there.
Yeah, Future Perfect is not that bad in draft because
Future Perfect's pretty good.
protected in your HQ or in your R&D, which is nice.
Yeah, there might be 1 or 2 film critics floating around. Probably just one,
Probably 1 or 2.
but
maybe.
we'll see how that
Not
goes.
in your deck.
No, I definitely don't have one. And it looks like we're off. I do have a much better hand there. The tinkering is amazing
Yeah, you like it.
right
Yeah.
at the beginning. I'm a big fan of that. And let's see, money, credit. Sorry,
day
I says
job.
credit, and we'll go to that day job. So Scott's also the only other person in Montreal that I know who has the same credits that I do.
Yeah.
We bond over that. That's very important. And it looks like that is a
Clone
clone
retirement.
retirement scored out of hand.
No
That's-
bad pub, but
No bad pub, that's true. But that's a 1-pointer.
Yeah.
Remember, in draft, you're only playing to 6 points.
6 points,
Yeah.
which comes in pretty quickly.
It does, especially with 3-pointers. With that imp, I'm going to probably poke something.
Yeah, just use your imp on
Yeah.
whatever's good. Ice, maybe,
Even ice.
probably ice.
Yeah, a lot of the times you see
Yeah.
a piece of ice that either you don't want to deal with or your deck doesn't have a good way to deal with. You'll just imp it. So, like, for instance, Viper, that's a
pretty
hard
good thing
piece
to
of
imp.
ice to deal with. I think Imp might actually be my only multi-access card in the deck. That is a Yagura, which is absolutely brilliant in draft. Being able to hide a 3-point agenda just lowers your density so much. The only, I guess, good thing with the Yagura is that if somebody doesn't put something on the bottom of the deck, it's not the same sort of mind game space that Jinteki has where you can think like, oh, this might be a snare.
Yeah, no, it's
It's usually just, oh, that's ice or an operation. So that's fine. So I am running 1 parasite, and it's actually in hand,
yeah.
which is pretty good.
Oh, giving you money now. So, I guess parasiting your Yagura just to see the top card is
Oh, it's pretty
probably
good.
the way to go.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
with Imp, that's a double axis.
Yeah.
He does have a pop-up window, which I think I'd actually much rather parasite the Yagura, just because you have to deal with that. Pop-up, you can just pay money.
Did he ice archive? I think
He
with
did
the
ice
pop-up window?
archives.
Afraid of security testing, I guess.
I'm
Data
not sure.
suckers, probably.
Sneak door, maybe.
Sneak door, maybe.
Maybe he actually just wants to throw something into archives,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a thing you can get away with in draft.
Especially if it's a future perfect.
Yeah, if it's a future perfect,
And then you have the pop-up window. So
you can be
gain money
really
every time.
annoying.
That
Yeah.
could be annoying.
Looks like we're going to patch up that hole. And another research fundraiser. I have a hard time playing that card.
Yeah, it's rough.
It is really rough.
Yep.
And it falls into the same kind of econ suite that Jinteki has about giving the runner information or giving the runner money to get money. Mm-hmm. But
You're not
Man,
convinced.
I'm
You're
not
not a big
convinced.
fan. I think it's okay in certain situation.
in decks that don't require money, it looks like there's a snowflake up on R&D, and this is about to get real goofy.
Cool effects and
Oh yeah, hey,
snowflake.
the snow. So I bet one. Usually the first time I think I hit Snowflake, everybody bets one. Red Herrings is a pretty great trash. That saved me about 4 credits,
Yep.
5 credits, I guess, because you're going to trash it anyways. Not too bad at all.
And in draft, as the corp, sometimes you just put down an agenda knowing that the runner is most likely going to score it, just so you open a window the next turn to score a second agenda.
Exactly.
So Red Herrings helps you do that perfectly, because it costs the runner so much that you know that on the next turn he won't be able to get in.
Yeah, it really shuts the window down. So I've actually played a lot with Snowflake in these 8 division decks, and the problem here that you'll realize is that you can just you can continue to hammer that Snowflake.
Yeah, so Snowflake is only good if you put something in front.
Yes.
And even by good, I mean not that terrible.
No, I like it because look, a successful demonstration is amazing with Snowflake because it deters you from playing the game. I've already lost one time that turn, so the successful demo is probably going to happen.
By the way, we've drafted more since we've recorded this, and Trimath is one of our favorite econ cards in draft.
Trimath is so good.
So good.
As long as you remember that it can kill you.
Yep.
Because that opens up tag punishment in a deck that didn't have tag punishment before.
Yep. Still has to find a way to give you a tag, then trash Trimath, then do something else. But still, Trimath was one of my favorite cards.
Oh, pretty good.
Econ is so good.
That's a mini magnum opus, which is for 2 credits, not too bad, and it doesn't take up MEU, which is huge.
And you can have multiple of them on the board.
Exactly, yeah. You can only use 1 each, but they're not unique. Looks like a ninja is going to come in and take the place of that imp, and we're going to just continue running on that Snowflake. Scott does have 13 credits, which is a lot. He's going to pay a credit, and we're going to just keep doing that.
Yep.
It's a mini lamprey.
It's a lamprey.
Without an access, but counting.
But every time you pay 0, you access. So
yeah.
It's not that terrible.
Subliminal messaging and get some money. So the idea of continuing to run these Zygame Ices is to condition the corp to bet a certain way. Because they expect you to... Oh my, hey, that's a brain trust.
That
behind a single piece of ice.
And you did not poke and use your tinkering, so
did not poke.
Could have used tinkering and then used ninja to get in, but hey, so, it's 3-0 now.
Yep, 3-0 is pretty
Poking
rough.
the Snowflake again.
Let's keep hitting that Snowflake. That's the problem with an installed card. Expecting it to be a 3-for-2 is, maybe you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
Because there's not that many floating around. That's actually a really important access. That's an hourglass, which is a really interesting piece of ice. So now I'm expecting whatever the next card to be installed, the next ice is probably the hourglass.
Where? In front of Snowflake, maybe?
I think you put it in front of Snowflake.
Poke once and...
Yeah, then you can only poke last click.
Yep.
You wouldn't poke first click. Even if you poke second click to see if they'll res and spend 5 credits to make you lose a click. I don't know. The subliminal messaging is going to make some money. I got to make sure I'm running every turn.
Yep. That's why the pop-up window's not that bad in Archive right now.
Yeah, maybe he knew. That was actually pretty smart if he knew that he had to block all servers. Something is going into that remote. I do have the tinkering, so it is not exactly safe, but little does Scott know. The Mimic is pretty expensive, and that could easily be the hourglass on R&D.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
And now if it is, you have no more...
on R&D, yeah, I'm poking the remote, and that's been there for a while. It's going to be no res. Which is a daily business show, which I believe is a must trash.
Yep.
Especially in draft.
So good.
Same for that Yagura reason. You can bury stuff.
Yep.
With a Triumph contact, that kind of lowers the burden of paying 4 credits for
I've actually won games where the corp just runs out of time. Like, he draws his agendas at the end, but he doesn't have time to install and score them. Just because he buried all the agendas. Yeah, and then I just won from decking.
Because you can't bury everything.
Nope.
Because eventually the Maker's Eye is like all agendas. So last click, I'm going to hit that R&D, and I do bet 1, which is a good surprise.
Nice.
And a Cortex Lock is also a pretty good access. That is, I think, a lot of money to break with Ninja.
We don't use Ninja except in draft, so my maths are not so good with Ninja.
I think it's like you pump it for 3.
Yeah, I think it's
it
plus
pumps
4
to 3,
strength.
so it's, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it's 0 plus 5 strength.
No, it's less than that, because I know it's really bad on Grim.
Oh, yeah.
Scott actually revealed a bit when he's looking at that piece of ice on the remote was a roto turret. So that brain trust wasn't at all safe.
Nope.
That was a bluff, I think, if I had the ninja out at that time.
Yep.
Pretty good, but I wouldn't pay 4 credits to make me spend 2 credits. Maybe overwrite that ice? I'm not sure. You see every turn just about I am drawing on the basis that you need to. because you have to find your good stuff. There's only so much you have.
And right now you only have one breaker, so
Only
that
one
Snowflake
breaker.
is
Snowflake's
not doing
falling
great
apart.
right now.
Yeah.
Not doing great.
The fact that Scott isn't rezzing makes me think it's the Hourglass. Here I do overbet one, thinking that Scott would, and that's no good. Let's discard some cards. Apparently every draft game I discard Deja Vu. Not sure what that's about. Man, it's a good card. Why am I discarding it?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but you already have 11 credits, so it's not that bad.
Play strange.
Hourglass and Armitage code vesting.
Yep.
Why would you keep Armitage and discard the Liberated accounts? That's interesting.
Because if I need burst, I don't know. Liberated just seems slower. Like Liberated needs a whole turn to be decent. Armitage is always good. Even if you install click and go, that's not that good actually. But that's okay. I haven't poked HQ at all. That rainbow on
Only
HQ
once, yeah.
is technically a sentry.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So I could get in, but again, I think the ninja
Cost,
math is
yeah.
pretty bad.
It's not good.
Oh,
Jackson. So
yeah, Jackson.
he is one of the players with Jackson in his deck.
One of the lucky three.
Yeah.
And that's actually good to know, because if you see Jackson in a matchup, you know that there's only 2 Jacksons left.
So basically, he's overinstalling now. So he should have overinstalled the turn
In theory, before
save
and
one.
saved a credit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run that Jackson. Shiny Jackson will get removed from the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go to his special place, I guess. And we're going to pull in some money, maybe.
Not sure why the Jackson was not installed in the server protected by ice.
Yeah, there's honestly
But,
no reason not to.
Yeah, because if you poke Archive, you
Maybe
pay
he
1
drew.
for the pop-up window.
There's a chance he drew and is hoping to find an
Yeah,
agenda.
maybe.
Drop it in there. We'll see how the clicks work out.
Okay.
I do have a passport,
Yeah.
which is a reasonable way to get through a rainbow if I want to go that way. Looks like we're going to play another side game. I'm going for 0 probably.
As the runner, where do you think the agendas are at that moment? Still in R&D, or
I think in
poking
R&D.
HQ gets better as the game progresses, because you know that the
Yeah.
corp has no window to get rid of the agendas. But
Perhaps-
after a Jackson,
Exactly. Not only after Jackson is that he's been scoring agendas. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
Scott hasn't had a problem to slip that into a remote, even behind ice that I might be able to break on the
Mm-hmm.
basis that I don't know that.
drawing more cards.
Yeah, the blue level clearance is going to make the draw pretty strong. So maybe checking. It's Rainbow's hard to deal with. It honestly is.
Yeah. But right now you could install an agenda if you want.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you have to poke that. You have to assume that this might be an agenda that he's trying to score. He just drew more cards, and his R&D is getting pretty low on cards, I believe.
Right.
Because
And-
he's used a blue level and a green level, so he's been
Yeah,
drawing
he does
lot
have
of
a lot of
cards.
draw and
Yep.
no Jackson. I'm going to throw out that dog. And with that, with 2 breakers, I'm confident I
Mm-hmm.
can get him to that server. If there is a code gate, that's just kind of unfortunate.
Yep.
It's not going to kill me, but actually I'm going to poke
HQ.
HQ. The lady token
to
will
see.
take me into HQ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any good multi-access or an imp or anything, so this is just information.
There's also a lot of trap, like we're seeing right now. So
Yeah.
that card in the remote could have been easily a trap. But now that you saw a trap in his hand, maybe the remote could be an agenda.
Yeah, it easily could be.
Mm-hmm.
I think putting a psychic field in that remote would be really gutsy.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that you have to make the runner think that they can get in, and they should.
That's always the way the traps work.
That's always the way it works,
every time
but
it's
never
like-
the way I play them.
the runner has to believe that he has to work to get in
Yep.
for it to be an agenda.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing just trap game and installing everything naked. But
Yep.
if you're putting a trap behind the ice, make sure that the runner has a way to get in. If not, the trap is just not gonna work.
Yeah, you have to judge whether
So
they
you
can
have
get
to
in.
judge that the runner thinks you think he cannot get in, but he can.
Yeah.
So it's pretty. Playing trap is really difficult.
That card in the remote actually was a Project Beal.
Mm-hmm.
Over advanced, that actually could have been the game.
Yep.
But it looks like we're just at 5 points. I still have no agenda. Still kind of tunneling against that snowflake.
Yeah.
He paid so I know he has a successful demonstration, so it's important that I get this right. And it looks like we are good.
Yeah.
0 credits. I can also lady through that thing.
No agendas so far. All your
Nothing.
accesses.
Absolutely
Yep.
brutal accesses.
Mhm.
That being said, I am seeing good ice, seeing the Cortex Lock, seeing the Flare. All that's actually really valuable
Yeah.
information. Running into a Flare is
It's
real rough.
really bad.
Real bad.
Yeah. We all lost at least one game just facing a
facing
flare
flare.
and being like, "Wow, I forgot
When
about
it
that
can't
card."
be prevented. 2 cards in that server.
Ooh, now you have big problems.
Now I have to deal with
Yeah.
that. On game point, no matter what, I have to deal with it. Seeing that
Ash?
he does have 1-pointers,
Ready
I think
rings?
maybe the red herrings came back.
Mm-hmm.
That clone chip is going to allow me to get something back. Not sure. Tinkering on the second ice.
Okay.
So that ice now has all types. And we're going to make a run at that server.
Hopefully it's not a code gate.
I'm hoping that isn't a code gate. I'm not sure, but I can clone shit back.
Parasite?
Maybe a Parasite. Maybe
You're
a 3 out of
Parasite,
an
but for Roto Turret, 0 strength?
Yeah, I'd rather just pay through it.
Ooh,
Little engine.
Ooh, that's a rough code gate for you right now.
That is really bad. I do have a David in hand.
Oh, yeah.
I'm one click away from installing and running. But with 2 credits, looks like Scott is
not gonna help.
Not going to be able to score. This is actually probably a really bad idea that I'm running on the Snowflake, because if Scott makes a credit off of this... Oh, no. He can't make a credit. I'm thinking East 8 Division.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay. That's how I play Snowflake.
There you
go. Single access. Give me an agenda. Nope.
No.
Green level clearance.
All right. So 2 credits. At least you didn't run in the pop-up window. That would have been terrible.
I think that is a pop window. But yeah, that would have been...
If RED Ice in front was a pop-up window,
God.
could have been game.
Could have been game. He waited on that pop-up window. A green level is going to give a card and money, and it looks like we're going to take credit and advance with it.
So I think with your David, you're pretty strong right now.
David is good.
Because he only has 4 credit, which is probably not enough to res a good upgrade.
It's enough for red herrings.
It's
However,
enough, but
I
you
am going to get 5 credits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying you're in a good position to steal that agenda at least.
So David is amazing to get little engine.
Oh, yeah.
The only better thing is admin at 2. Which admin at 7.
7, which is pretty
lets
expensive.
You print some money. Pretty fun. No res on the second thing, but second ice, it looks like a red herring is going to come up. So if I want to take that agenda, it's going to cost me a lot of money. Actually, we do have a Cortex lock.
Okay.
I have only 1 unused MU. I could clone chip something back if I so cared. That would save me 1 net damage.
Yeah.
Maybe get the imp back. Maybe put a Parasite on
Let's say it's an NAPD and the ready rings. You need at least 9 credits.
Rough, yeah.
So everything you bring back, you should keep at least 9.
So I'm going to get the imp back.
Yep. Which is a good thing because you save on trashing everything else.
Yeah. You can just trash the agenda instead of stealing it for 5.
Yep.
So that's okay. Looks like it's going to be Explodapalooza, which is huge credit swing. That's a 10 credit swing on a single axis. And Scott installed it and didn't even advance it. That's awesome.
Yeah, he advanced 1. So
the previous turn.
Basically what he was saying is get this agenda.
Yeah, please do.
Pay money. Yeah. Give me money, and I'll manage to score an agenda later on.
Because he sees how far behind I am.
But right now, what you know is that you can get in that remote easily.
Now, no, I can't anymore because the David is done.
Yeah,
and I used my clone chip.
Your clone chip.
I shouldn't have used my clone chip. I'm going to bet 1 on that Snowflake. Not the right bet. There's not that many cards left in R&D. At 6 agenda points, we know there's a future perfect. So there's actually not that many agenda points left in the deck. That is what you have to watch out for with the Snowflake. Successful demonstration is good, and really make sure that the runner doesn't just bang.
Yeah, at some point, Snowflake becomes a 2 credit tax for Corroder.
Which is good. That's a pop, right?
Yeah. But before that, it loses you a couple accesses.
Yeah, it might. As long as you put an ice in front of it, you're okay. It's not sustainable against Lady, too.
So,
I think it's...
Is he taking a chance by installing an agenda, or
easily
is
might
it,
be, considering that there's only 1 credit, 1 counter on the David.
Yep.
3 cards left in R&D. The game could be in R&D. There's no way currently to get through David. I mean, not David. Sorry, to get through the little engine. Oh boy, this is rough. HQ might have some stuff in it. Might have some cards.
At that point, yeah, maybe. And how many cards are remaining? 4, 3 or 4?
It looks like it might just
could be
3.
game.
It could be game here. Oh wow. I don't think I have a Maker's Eye. I do have an indexing somewhere in my deck, but I haven't actually drawn through most of my deck. I do have a Passport in hand. I don't think I can get 4 points off of R&D.
Maybe draw, and hope to draw something that lets you get in the remote.
I don't think I have anything. I have a Passport.
What code gate breakers do you have?
Gordian.
Gordian Blade could help you.
Still really expensive.
Really expensive.
A single access through the rainbow.
More.
That's going to be 2 dog tokens for a second access.
And I think we saw that there is nothing left.
Nothing left. Midway Station Grid. Not going to give it.
So do you think the Future Perfect is back in archive?
It could be.
Left it there with pop-up window in front.
Yeah.
That's not a bad play.
No, not at all.
Because there's no account siphon in the draft. There's however, Vamps.
Yeah,
but with the pop-up window, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad at all.
You can still bring Parasite.
Single access is going to get me a wraparound, which I am going to trash. I had absolutely brutal accesses, 1 more turn, but advance, the ABT.
That was a good game, great game.
That was actually really well played. My axes were horrible, but the way that he played, there was a future perfect in hand. But I still needed 2 agendas. There was an NAPD in archives.
In archive.
So in theory, I actually could have got the 3-pointer out of hand and then run archives and probably had enough money.
Ugh.
Real close. That play with the 5-credit server up and down, up 5 on the little engine, down 5 on the red herrings, up 5. That's really exciting to see.
Super.
Well, hey, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay tuned. We have the other side of the matchup between me and Scott where we flip Runner Corp.
Cool.
Thanks for watching.
See you guys.
Ciao.